get ready to get sticky. Sticky Situations is sponsored by Corona Crush. Corona Crush is creating Jewish couples always. Join the Facebook group. Just search Corona Crush and look out for virtual speed dating events happening every other week. They're 100% free and 100% Jewish. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Sticky Situations. I'm your host, Rachel, which you already know because I'm unforgettable. Everyone, whatever platform you're listening on right now, please go follow or subscribe if the platform allows for it, aka Apple Podcast. There might be other platforms that do too. Give us a good 5-star rating and a nice review. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. You can send me like hate DMs if you really, really, really want to. I'll probably block you. But like, I don't know, just don't post anything. If you need to say something mean, you can message me privately. We can speak constructively, but also like, what mean stuff do you have to say? This is a fun podcast. So I guess since I talked about my DMs, you should all go follow Sticky Situations Pod on Instagram. Follow Sticky Situations Pod on TikTok. You can like Sticky Situations page on Facebook. I don't really do much with the Facebook anymore, but there's a page there, so you can go and like it. If you would like to be a guest on my podcast, please reach out to me. You can slide into the DMs at Sticky Situations Pod. You can send me an email at stickysituationspod@gmail.com. You can just like find me in general, word of mouth, have your friend who knows me message me, like, you know, the Jewish way of networking. Or, as you guys know, my sponsor, Corona Crush, I always post my episodes, and I have a little link for a Google form that you can fill out if you want to be a guest. The Google form is also on the Instagram page somewhere. It's in the highlight reels of the stories because I had nowhere better to put it, so don't come at me. So you can look there. I think it's on the Facebook page too. So, okay, there is some use for the Facebook page. If you would like to date me or any of my single guests, you can also reach out through any of those means. The link is not in the Corona Crush post, but again, it's in the highlight reel of the stories on the Instagram page. It's in the Facebook page, or you could just send me a DM on Instagram at stickysituationspod, or send me an email at stickysituationspod@gmail.com. So, now that administrative business is done, let's get into it. Everybody, I have an extra special guest today. Please welcome to the podcast my friend Liz. Liz, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. Okay, so let's get into it, Liz. So, at the beginning of each episode, before we get into everything, I always ask my guests just some basic questions about themselves, just so my listeners can like have a little bit of a basis of the stories they're telling and what dating pool they're dating in. So can you tell my listeners your age, location, relationship status, and religious denomination?
Sure. I am 28. I live in the city.
Yeah. New York City.
New York City. I am currently single and dating. No one in particular right now. And I am modern Orthodox.
Okay.
Whatever that means.
So guys, if you're listening, Liz is single, so you can slide into the DMs. I will send you the application. Okay, so Liz, should we get into it?
Let's do it.
Liz told me she has a list, she has her notes, she's all ready, prepared.
Everything written down.
I'm the hot mess. I came home. I got home like right before Liz came over.
You're doing great.
Yeah.
We're ready.
We're ready. Okay, so let's hear some stories, Liz.
All right. So first one I got here, I think this was probably like, I want to say like late 2018. So I was like kind of still newish to like the dating game. Hadn't really dated much yet at that point. But a friend of a friend reached out and like wanted to set me up with this guy. She was like, oh, like I think this guy would be really great for you. And that was probably like one of the first times that someone actually set me up with someone. I was like, sure, why not? She told me his name, like I think he was like a year older than me, what he did. I was like, perfect. So exchanged numbers. He reached out and like everything seemed normal. Obviously, as any good girl, I looked him up on Facebook, but I couldn't actually like figure out what he looked like because I think his picture was from like 10 years earlier, and it was like kind of like really like far back. Like, I don't know.
That's the
like,
worst.
I know. Like, I could not see him, and also it was very blurry. So I was like, all right, no clue what this guy looks like. But like, we're just gonna go with it. So I was living at home at the time on Long Island. We were gonna meet up in the city. So like, I came in, took the train, and he was like, all right, you want to like meet me at my office? So I'm like, okay, like whatever, like that's fine. So I like go, his office was like in Times Square. So I like went, I think it was probably like around 5 o'clock that I got there. So I'm
no.
so I'm like waiting in the lobby of this building, and I was like, hey, like I'm here. He's like, okay, I'll be down soon. So there was like no one really there except probably like the security guard. But then obviously like 5 o'clock, everyone is leaving work. So like tons of people are like coming down, and I'm like, I have no idea what this guy looks like. So I'm like kind of weirdly like making eye contact with every guy that looks like they're around my age. And I'm like, oh, like, is it that guy? I'm like, oh, like that guy's so cute. I really hope it's him. Literally no clue who this guy is. Then like this guy comes down, he like walks straight up to me, gives me a hug without saying anything, and I'm like, guess that's him. And he was like, hey, I'm so and so. Like, I'm like, oh, hi. He was like, all right, like, are you ready? I'm like, yeah. And he was like, okay, I thought we'd go to Starbucks. And you know, I'm fine with like a coffee first date. Like, Starbucks is okay too. But we walk across the street into a Starbucks, across the street from his office. I'm like, okay, that was convenient for you. And this is Times Square, so there were no seats inside said Starbucks.
Oh, God.
And this is like November, and it was like a normal November where it was actually cold. So it was like really freezing outside. So we like get our drinks, we go outside and like sit on like those tables like in the middle of like whatever Broadway. And I was freezing.
Oh my God.
And I was like I was freezing, and we're like sitting there, and I already like saw it was going nowhere. I mean, I think maybe he was like into it a little bit more. But like after a while, I was like, the coffee went through me. I was like, all right, I need to like really go to the bathroom. So I was like, oh, like, you know, can we like, you know, find a bathroom somewhere? So we like go into the Starbucks. They had no bathroom. Then there was like a huge H&M. So I'm like, oh, like, he was like, oh, we can like go into my office and like you could use the bathroom there. But like, I don't know, like I like thought it was really weird. So I'm like, no, like let's check. Like maybe H&M has one. So we walk in and go, and I like ask them. They're like, sorry, like there's no bathroom, or like you have to buy something. And he was like, oh, I could buy you something. And I'm like, I don't know you. Like, don't buy me anything. Like eventually I was like, all right, I guess like I'll just have to go up into his office. We're also right across the street, so perfect. So he's like, we go in, he's like also raving about the bathrooms in this office.
Wait, I have a tip of advice. Sorry to interrupt. Macy's.
That would have been a really good idea.
Oh, but you were in Times Square, not... I'm thinking the H&M by Herald Square. Okay, never mind. But...
Still, like, not such a far walk, but
Macy's, yeah. I always... Okay, the two places I always stop if I need to go to the bathroom, Macy's and Trader Joe's.
Oh, I never tried Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's always has a bathroom.
Bloomingdale's also.
Oh, I've never been to the bathroom at Bloomingdale's.
Yeah, but that's also, like, if you happen to be on the east side.
Actually, I might have... No, was it Bloomingdale's? I don't remember. Department stores.
Yeah, those are good places.
All department stores have bathrooms.
Yeah. Or like usually Starbucks. Actually, Starbucks a lot of times they don't have, but Dunkin' Donuts sometimes has.
Also, like the coffee shop bathrooms are sometimes gross.
Yeah.
Like the Macy's bathrooms.
When you gotta go.
Yeah, when you gotta go, you gotta go. But like the homeless people of New York City, no offense to homeless people, are not like going to Macy's.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
So, you know, I will keep that in mind for next time.
Just something to keep in mind for the future.
Yeah.
Everybody. That's for everyone.
Yes.
New York City
Take that
problems.
piece of advice.
New York City problems.
Yeah. But you know what? Or you could try this office building because he was raving about the bathrooms. And I was like...
Were they nice?
I mean, it was a nice bathroom, but, you know, I wasn't going to, like, you know, rave about them to someone. So I finished, like, come out, and he's like, there's like no one there because it's like probably close to 9 o'clock. So like, who's in this building? He was like, okay, so like, what do you want to do now? Do you want to like go for a walk? We can maybe get food. We can sit here. I was like, we can go for a walk. He's like, all right, so like, let's go into the conference room and sit down. I'm like, that's not what I said.
Oh my God.
So we like go into some random conference room in this office building and sit across from each other as if we're like having an interview. And I'm like, this is like the most bizarre thing ever. And then probably after about like 10-15 minutes, I was like, oh, like, I really should get going. I have to catch my train. That's like a good thing about living on Long Island is you always can blame it on the train. So yeah. I'm like, oh, like, I have to go. The next one's not for like another hour, so I don't want to like be too late. So like, I think he walked me to the train, which is nice, which they don't always do. Yeah. And that was like pretty much it. I think like I texted the girl who set us up afterwards. I was like, told her no. And it was like kind of one of those situations where like they don't really understand. But I was like, I don't know. It was like a very weird kind of like off kind of date. And now he's just referred to as conference room guy.
Yeah, that's like weird. I will say I've definitely had like an identical date where, except for the opposite, where I've made a guy come and meet me at my office.
But that's okay, I feel like. Mm-hmm. I'm like, why am I picking you up?
No, I used to, well, now I do go into an office. I just haven't really gone on dates since I've been in my new office.
Yeah.
But when I used to like, pre-COVID, when I was going into the office, actually, post-COVID too, I had a job where I was like going in, my last job, I went into the office a few days a week before we closed the office. I would literally tell guys if they wanted to meet after work, I'm like, meet me in mid. But also, before COVID, I lived further away. So I'm like, I'm not going back home and then coming back to Midtown. So I was like, yeah, you could come meet me at like 6, pick a bar between these streets. Like,
yeah, like I'm fine meeting someone somewhere. Like when I lived at home, understandable that like if you lived in like somewhere in the city that, you weren't necessarily going to come out and pick me up. Like, if you don't have a car, that's just, like, annoying. So, like, I'll come meet you somewhere. Like, I'm not going to come pick you up from your office.
Yeah, it would have been different. Like, I guess, like, Penn Station is close to Times Square. He could have picked somewhere that's, like, near... Yeah. He's like, oh, you're coming from Penn. Yeah. Not although, like... I have gone out with guys from Long Island or New Jersey, I can't remember, who are like, oh, let's go somewhere near Penn because I'm taking the train. And I'm like... Whatever.
I know, I love when they, like, preface it like that. Like, this is close to me, so let's go there.
Yeah, no, literally now I'm like, okay, so I'm not going out unless you come to me. Yeah. You can pick a bar within these 10 blocks.
Yeah.
And, like...
It's reasonable.
My friends think I'm, like, too picky and insane, and I'm like, no, I'm tired of wasting my time, like, going to these... If it's a second, third date, like, and I actually want to hang out with the person, fine. But if it's a first date, most likely, I don't want to get on a train.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, and I would come into the city, like, from home. Like, I would take the train in a lot, like, to go on dates. Because I'm like, there's nothing really on Long Island. Like, also, like, if people don't drive and, like, taking the train there and, like, what are they going to do? Like, walk to my house to pick me up? Like, that's really weird.
Or you pick them up from the train.
No, oh my God. Please, that's another story.
Oh,
okay. But that is that one.
Oh my God.
So yeah.
That's like...
We love the effort.
I feel like guys just need to, like, learn.
Yeah. No. It's
put in some effort.
It's not that hard.
It's really not that hard to, like, ask the girl what's convenient for her. Especially if you're already coming in from Long Island to meet him.
Yeah. No, yeah.
He could pick somewhere that's, like, convenient for you.
My favorite is, and this is one...
Or at least buy you dinner.
I know, not, like, a freaking cup of coffee.
5 to 9, instead of sitting in a conference room and be like, oh, let's go get pizza.
Yeah.
Like, pizza doesn't have to be crazy.
Yeah.
You don't have to, like, go for a 5-star meal.
Yeah, no. Like, oh, here's a $2 cup of coffee on me. I'm like, thanks. I just spent, like, $15 on the train.
Yeah.
No, but this has happened to me a lot recently where people that I go out with, they can't plan the date. Like they're like, "Oh, like what do you want to do?" Or like, "Where's a
hate that.
good place?" And I'm like, I am going to do what you can easily do. I am going to Google places. You can do that too.
I literally have told guys that. I'm like, so I don't really know. So it's either I'm Googling it or you Googling it, and I
Yeah.
don't really have time.
Like we both live like in the same place. Like you know what to do.
Some guys are like, oh, I don't live near you. I don't know what's good. Like they use that excuse. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's so dumb.
I'm like, I'm 29. I have a full-time job at a podcast. Like, I'm not going out to the bars every night. And chances are the bars I'm going to are not going to be good date spots. Because they're going to be, like, fun, like, loud places. Not,
Yeah.
like, I don't know quiet bars.
Yeah, like you
Now I
can
know
look-
one. Because, like, my friend told me one. Because a guy I went out with was like, I don't know anything. I'm like, fine. This place.
And they're like, do you have a phone? Do you have a computer?
Google.
Yeah.
Google.
This has happened to me a lot recently. I'm like, oh my God.
No, I literally tell guys, I'm like, you plan the date,
And I'll show up.
and I will be there.
Yeah.
Tell me what time and tell me where, and I'll see you then.
Yeah. I'm like, then you'll learn a new place too.
Yeah.
It's the effort.
The most attractive thing to me is when I don't even have to tell the guy to plan. He's just like, okay. He'll
Yeah.
ask me what area is best for me. He'll ask, like, if a certain time works, and then he'll send me a location.
Yeah.
He's
Or it's
like,
like, yeah.
he's like, is this okay this time?
Yeah, or like, hey, like, thought we'd do this, or like, go to this place. I'm like, sounds perfect.
Yeah. Better yet, if it's a guy who, like, is trustworthy and not, like, a complete stranger,
Yeah.
he's like, can I pick you up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm okay, like, meeting someplace if I'm like, I don't know who you are.
Yeah, if it's like a guy from
Yeah.
a dating app. But if it's a guy, I have a rule for myself, the mutual friend rule.
Yeah.
It's like, even if he's from an app, if he's somebody that I have a bunch of mutual friends with, I'm like, somebody will know if you murder me. So then
Yeah.
I'm like, okay with it.
Well, you guys in your locations. So
Oh,
someone,
always.
yeah. Or, you know, me and my friends, we just like text each other, like, either like we get up and go to the bathroom, or if he goes to the bathroom, we're like, oh my God, like, this is going terribly, or.
Yeah, same. Honestly, I just like, don't like going out on dates. It's such a production.
It really is.
Now even like I dread video calls. Like I talked to a guy on video chat the other night. It was like a low key like whatever. He's like, "Oh, do you want to like video chat instead of just texting?" And I'm like, I guess. And I'm like, I haven't heard from him all day, and I'm like, "Okay, great, that's over." And I wasted a half an hour of my TV time.
Yeah, no, I don't do the, like, I hate FaceTime.
So, I prefer to do that
Yeah.
than to like agree to a date and then like
Yeah.
go on the date and be like, "Oh no."
I'm fine with talking on the phone, but, like, not FaceTime.
Nah, I don't care because
Yeah.
like I just show up looking how I look. I'm like, I don't care. Happens to be when I was talking to him yesterday, my hair was done
Yeah.
just because I got home from work. It wasn't like done. I just like I blew it out for work, so it
Yeah.
was still like looking presentable, but I was like in a t-shirt.
Yeah, no, I am always like, oh, I have to put like some kind of like makeup
Oh, no.
on, or like this was, I guess, a COVID thing where I did some FaceTime dates, and I would just like wear sweatpants, some like nice top, and then like fix my hair and do some makeup, but it's like too much effort for nothing.
Yeah, that's why I just stopped doing it.
Yeah.
I just like try to look presentable, but also I think I just stopped caring so much that like even if I have a video chat with a guy, like I double booked myself for video chats the other night, like last week. I had 2 in a row. I didn't do
That's
my
a lot.
hair or makeup. I put on a shirt, like a real shirt, and
Yeah.
I'm like, that's good enough. My hair
Yeah.
was like, okay.
If they can't take you like that, then
Exactly.
they're not worth it.
Exactly. I'm like, why am I putting in effort?
Yeah,
Just so I can try to get off this call as fast as I can. Like,
pretty much.
and I did try to get off of both of them. One of them I failed, but luckily he didn't have Zoom Premium.
Oh,
Because
you use Zoom.
he sent me a Zoom link. I'm like,
That's so weird.
who the heck uses Zoom?
For a
Also, like,
date.
also, like, if you're gonna use Zoom, at least have premium. But I also didn't tell him that I have Zoom premium.
That's so
Because at like around 40 minutes, he's like, "Oh, so the call's gonna end soon. I guess like we'll like text each other tomorrow and like follow up." And I'm like, "Okay, bye."
Like, oh, Zoom for a date or like a call with a guy. That's weird.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Is this like a business meeting?
I don't know. It was from from the matchmaking website that I use. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay. And then I had another one also, and he used Google Meet, and I'm like, who are you people?
Like they took the time to make a meeting and send you the link.
I'm like, literally, there's FaceTime and there's WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Like, one of those is sufficient.
Like if you have the person's number.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't have an iPhone, but I have an iPad.
Yeah.
I FaceTime all the time on my iPad.
Yeah.
Literally, the guy last night, we talked on WhatsApp, like, and I used my computer. Like, it wasn't, like,
no.
it wasn't a thing. Like, it was fine.
So interesting.
Yeah. I'm like, I literally use my Zoom account for the podcast. Like, but also, I just found it funny that, like, thank God he didn't have Zoom Premium because I wanted to be off the call.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't want to go out with him in the first place. I guess I'll tell the story now. It's not again nothing really against him, and I apologize if he's listening because like I did tell him about the podcast.
Oh no.
Basically, and then I'll let you get back to your stories. Basically, I've gotten a string of matches. As you guys know, I'm on this matchmaking website that I hate and that I want to cancel. I have a lot of problems with it lately, and I just get these matches that aren't good. And I'm like, I don't want to accept them, but then I have this guilt eating at me if I don't accept them and they're like semi-normal. Like, I've gotten a couple and I'm like, this person, there's something wrong with them, so I'm not going to accept. But if these people who, there's seemingly nothing actually wrong with them,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So this one, I made the mistake of looking him up on Facebook. And that wasn't a mistake. That's what I usually do. I look the guy up on Facebook, see if we have mutual friends, and then I like reach out to one of the mutual friends if it's like someone I actually talk to.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is this person normal? So I did. And it happened to be that like one of my actual like real good friends from around my neighborhood was mutual friends with him. So I messaged her and I'm like, hey, who is this guy? How do you know him? Is he normal? And she's like, oh my gosh, that's my cousin. Like, I told her, I'm like, oh, I got him as a match, whatever. Should I accept it? And she's like, oh, he's really nice. He's a really nice guy. He might be too religious for you, but I think you guys would get along personality wise. And I'm like, I was looking for a reason to not accept this match. It had nothing to do with him. It just like from his profile, it seemed like it wasn't a match.
Yeah.
Like, he did seem too religious for me. It didn't seem like we had anything in common. And no offense, he had a job that doesn't sound like it pays what I want a guy's job to pay. That's just me being snotty, but whatever.
No, you are allowed to have your standards.
Yeah. Not that I'm not open to it of other things, but it just, like, is something that if I'm already not feeling it, it just adds to it. And I'm like, okay, if
and
I'm
then
already...
you already get it in your head that you're like, I don't want to go out with this
If
person.
I'm already not feeling it, but then he's like a doctor, then I'll be like, okay, let me like give it a shot. But like if I'm not feeling it and he's like has a job that like makes half my salary, I'm like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
But whatever. So I accepted because I was like, ugh, now I can't not accept because like she just told me that he's like a good guy,
Now she
whatever.
knows.
That she literally is cousins with. So then I went to an event at our synagogue. So we set up whatever. He reached out. He was very nice. He reached out, set up the video call for Sunday night. I accepted the match like later in the week. He set up the call for Sunday night, and I'm like, great. / I told him Sunday night would work for me. Saturday night, I went to an event at our synagogue, and I was sitting with my friend at the table, and lo and behold, he shows up. And I'm like, he doesn't even live in our neighborhood. What
are the odds?
He lives in a different neighborhood. And I'm like, oh my God. And then he doesn't know anyone because he doesn't live in our neighborhood. So he sits at our table because I was sitting with his cousin. It was so awkward. And like, I'm pretty good at handling awkward situations. But at that point, I was just like, I just can't. I can't deal with this.
Yeah.
And I met him. And like, from the second I met him, I'm like, this isn't a match. Well, yeah, he seems like a very nice guy. This
Yeah.
isn't against him. It's just like you can tell when someone isn't for
Yeah,
you.
no, sometimes you meet someone and you're like, no, there's the vibe is not there.
The vibe is not there. It was nothing against him. He's a great, nice guy. I actually even asked my friend if she wanted me to, like, when I was going to say no to him, to suggest them. She had already gone out with him. But, like, I thought about it. I'm like, he's a nice guy. Do I have any friends that might be a better match? But, like, it just wasn't a match. But then I had already accepted the call on Sunday night. But I met him on Saturday night. But then I didn't know how to get out of the call on Sunday night. So then I had to go through with the call on Sunday night. And I was just, like, mad the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to be here. And, like, I felt bad because I'm like, I'm probably, like, not being so nice. I don't think I was being mean. But I'm like, I'm definitely not engaging. Because I already know I'm not interested.
Yeah.
And then I had another call right after it.
Oh my God.
I could tell from the second he got on the call, I'm like, I don't want to go out with him. Luckily, my friend wanted to drop something off, so I texted her. I'm like, come now and text me when you're here so I can get off this call.
Oh my God.
I'm just, like, done. I'm tired of it.
No, sometimes you need a break.
Yeah.
I've been feeling that.
I need a permanent break.
Yeah.
I'm just quitting.
I support it.
I have the podcast.
Podcast is your relationship.
Yeah, I'll start going on dates again when I need more content.
That's good motivation.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's exhausting.
It's too much. I just can't.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, I can't do another one.
I also just, like, don't have time.
Or like, when you're like on an app and you're talking to someone and you're too far in to like talking to them and you're like, this is not going to go anywhere, but I'm way too far in to like end it. And I'm like, I think I have to meet this person. And then you're like, I don't know what to do. Like, I can't ghost them, but I also like, I'm not interested.
I know. I just, like, play the little swipey game. And then I end up talking to guys and they're like, oh, let's FaceTime. And then I waste a half hour of my night only to never hear from them again.
Yeah.
I'm going to send him a message tomorrow, like a bratty message, so it's fine.
You do you. Yeah.
I'm just going to say, like, I guess I scared you off. That's cool.
Yeah. And then he probably won't answer.
Yeah, and be like, peace.
Yeah.
Also, like, I don't like leaving things open.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, I don't like being ghosted and I don't like ghosting, but I also just, like, don't like leaving things open-ended. It's like, we're talking or we're not talking. Like, no.
Yeah, no. There was, like, this guy that I've matched with, like, on and off for, like, I don't know, the past few years, which is, like, so dumb. And I think maybe, like, one of the times that we've talked randomly, but, like, then at one point he asked me for my Snapchat, which is, like, already a red flag. And I'm like, okay, I don't really use Snapchat. I'm like, why are you not asking me for my number? And, like, I feel like we know each other so well now because we match all the time. And I'm like,
I know.
This is also, like, dumb on my end for, like, continuing to, like, match with him. I'm like, this is never going to go anywhere. And I'm like, I'm not answering your Snapchats because I'm 28 and do not use Snapchat.
Oh, I just tell guys I don't have Snapchat.
That's smart.
I deleted the app. I mean, I still have a username out there somewhere, but I don't use it.
Yeah, no, I think they're like a little, Snapchat's very desperate these days and they just send you notifications like, oh, check out this new like lens or like, look at what you were doing 5 years ago. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I just like, I'm not into Snapchat. Also, like when a guy asks for my Instagram instead of like my phone number, I'm like, why do you care?
Like, what?
Like, why? So we can DM on Instagram?
Yeah, like, ask for my number.
Yeah.
Like you want to talk to me? Ask for my number.
Like, what's the point of getting off of one app and going on to another app?
Yeah, no. It's
like,
so
that's dumb.
Yeah, like, let's get off a dating app and go on, like, Messenger.
Yeah, ugh, I hate Messenger.
Yeah.
Even though I talk to you on Messenger, but I don't use Messenger.
No, I mean, I do talk to people, like, on Messenger, but it's like, if I meet someone, like, let's say on Shabbos, I don't know, and, like, then they find me, and then they, like, we message. Like, that I don't care about, but don't, like, you know, like, if we meet in person, or if we go on a date, or, like, whatever, like, ask for my number, not, like,
like,
Facebook.
I don't want to Facebook message you. Yeah. I only Facebook message people, like, it's all business.
Yeah.
It's, like, podcast stuff. Like, people who I know from around who I just, like, don't have their number. Or, like, I do have, like, people I'm friendly with. Even some of my friends who I just, like, don't have their number. And, like, if I want to invite them for a Shabbat meal. Or, like...
Yeah, for that I feel like it's fine, but like if you're trying to date someone,
Yeah, I don't want to talk on Facebook Messenger.
yeah.
Like, text me.
Yeah. I feel like it is
Text or
yeah.
WhatsApp. That's it.
Messenger I feel like is definitely better than like Instagram, like DMing, but still
It's not much better.
not much. No.
No. I usually,
bit.
people, like, I don't think I've had a guy, like, slide into my Messenger. That's, like, weird.
I've had like random people.
I feel like only old people use Facebook.
Yeah.
Like, I guess some people around our age still use it, but, like, barely.
Yeah.
It's like people in their, like, mid to late 30s, I think,
yeah.
are the ones who, like, use Facebook for everything. Like, I hate the people
I would
who,
even
like,
say like 40s and up.
I know people in their 30s who do. I'm like, one guy literally, I was talking, this is how I knew he was too old for me. This was a couple years ago. He's like, do you want to chat? He's like, do you want to give me your number or we could, like, chat on Facebook? And I'm like, we will not chat on Facebook.
So like why?
Like, why
if you have-
Facebook?
also, if he has your number.
Yeah, I don't know. And I'm like, sir, I think you are too old for me if you want to chat with me on Facebook.
Yeah. So weird.
And he was. So,
Dodged a bullet.
yeah, I'm like, no, don't talk to me on Facebook. Just text me.
Yeah.
Or WhatsApp. I like WhatsApp also.
And I am a WhatsApp person.
Yeah. Also, like, I don't have an iPhone, so WhatsApp makes texting easier.
The iPhone people make fun of you for your
Yeah,
green messages.
but also, like, I like certain capabilities of talking on WhatsApp. Like, you get to, like, respond to individual messages.
Yeah.
So that's really the reason why I like WhatsApp, because
Yeah.
I'm, like, a thorough texter.
Yeah.
So, like, if you send me a text with, like, 4 different things, I will answer every part.
No, I do that
So-
too. Yeah.
But it's easier if I could, like,
WhatsApp-
slide it
WhatsApp's
and
good.
WhatsApp.
Yeah.
But we digressed a lot.
We did.
Before we get into your next story, should we take a break to hear a word from our sponsors?
Sure.
Okay, everybody, we will be right back. Sticky Situations is sponsored by Corona Crush. Are you tired of swiping on dating apps? Tired of guessing whether the cute guy or girl you keep seeing around is Jewish and or single? Then you need to run, not walk, to join Corona Crush. Corona Crush is a Jewish organization working to create Jewish couples always. Corona Crush has over 30 confirmed engagements, over 22,000 members from all over the world, and has set up over 50,000 speed dates. Join the Corona Crush Facebook group and post yourself or have a friend post you and see who reaches out. Fill out the survey to sign up for virtual speed dating events happening every other week. Corona Crush is 100% free and 100% Jewish. Worst case, you end up with some stories of your own. Best case, you find the love of your life. Try it out today. Here on Sticky Situations, we tend to focus on bad dating stories, but sometimes dates do go well and lead to proposals and weddings. Who would have thought? And what do all of those require, you might be asking? Well, the answer is flowers. Who doesn't want flowers from someone they've been seeing? Don't forget, flower petals and bouquets needed for proposals. And that's even before all the flowers that go into weddings. Sticky Situations is sponsored by Primrose Flower Shop. In my opinion, Primrose is the coolest flower shop around and has the best customer service to fulfill all of your floral needs. Primrose offers a range of services from your basic bouquets to subscription services where you can get flowers delivered once a week. They deliver all over the tri-state area, including Manhattan. Primrose does weddings, bar and bat mitzvahs, and other simchas. I've personally been to a wedding where Primrose did the flowers, and the work they did was beyond gorgeous. Primrose additionally offers in-store proposals, including a romantic setup with candles and music. Primrose is located at 2922 Avenue M in Brooklyn, and the phone number is 929-376-9815. You can also follow Primrose on Instagram at PrimroseNY. So, if you can't get someone out of your head, buy them some flowers from Primrose. They'll either love it or they'll find you really creepy. But regardless, the flowers will be out of this world. Okay, we are back. Okay, so Liz, let's hear more of your stories.
All right. So this one is like happens in, I guess, kind of like 2 parts. So it was when I was in college. I think it was like my senior year. I was in our college library, like with my friends, and we were like sitting doing work. like quote unquote work. And I think it was like a few tables away from us, we see this like really like good looking guy. We're like, oh my God, that guy over there is so hot. And he was wearing a kippah. We were like, oh, thank God. Because like this was a secular college. And we were like, oh my God, we've like never seen him before. This was like late into our senior year. And we were not very subtle. And like obviously staring at him, and like he noticed us at one point, and then we were like, oh my God, like he sees us staring at him, and then he like gets up to leave, and he walks past us, and he was like, oh, like, were you staring at my kippah? And we were like, oh, like, yeah, we're just trying to figure out what color it is. Like, said something super dumb. And then we were like, oh, like, we were like so stupid. We were like, hey, do you want to like sit with us? And he was like, oh, like I would, but I like actually I have to go. Like, I don't know. He was like going home or like had class. So we were like, okay, like see you later. We never saw him again.
Oh, that's so sad.
It was very sad. Probably like a year later, I was on a dating app, saw him, and I was like texting my friends like, oh my God, it is the hot guy from the library. And they were like, you have to swipe on him. So I'm like, okay, obviously I'm going to. So I did, and we matched, and I was like literally freaking out. I'm like, this is probably like the best looking guy that I have ever seen, and I am like an awkward little dweeb. Like, and, like I cannot believe that we matched. And then I don't know like who messaged who first, but he might have messaged me and like said like, oh, like I recognize you from like the library, blah blah blah. And I was
That's
like,
so funny.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, like, oh, like I didn't know if you would remember me. And like it was a kind of like a bland conversation on the app. But then he like asked me if I wanted to go out. I was like, sure, like obviously. Also, like I was like looking, I guess like when I was looking through his pictures on the app, I like saw that he had been in the Israeli army. So, and he was like tall, like super muscular, like in the Israeli army. I'm like, this is like the ultimate. And I'm like, this is like the best looking guy ever. And so I was like, yeah, like for sure, I'd love to go out. And then, so like we like had a date set, and I was like so excited, and he was going to pick me up from my house. So he was driving, I guess like I was living at home. So it was like, he lived like maybe a half hour away from me, drove like to pick me up. And I was like, this usually happens, like I'm usually fine like about a date, but like right before, like maybe 5-10 minutes before, I get so nervous. So I'm like in the kitchen with my mom. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like so nervous. And like it happened to be raining that day. So she was like, oh, you can just like make a joke about the rain. And I'm like, no, that's really dumb. Like, why would I do that? And I'm like, then he like comes and knocks on my door. I like opened the door, and I like was so nervous. And I was like, hi. And I like made some dumb joke about the rain because I was so nervous. And he was very unenthusiastic.
Oh.
When he saw me. I don't know if it was like when he saw me or if that was him. I was like, oh no, like he doesn't like me.
No.
But then, so we like get in the car, and I don't know if it was because I was nervous or he seemed like quiet or like something was off. I was just like a little bit too chatty. But then I was like, oh, like where are we going? He was like, oh, like thought we'd just like go to a cafe or whatever. I was like, okay, great. And, you know, like, I'm from a Jewish area. There are tons of kosher places, like, so many cafes. But we were driving like 45 minutes away. And he was like, I don't know, like, I guess he made some excuse about, like, not wanting to, like, go where, like, we knew people. I was like, okay, fine. Like, I get that.
Yeah, that's true.
So we go, and this was like end of the day, so it was like rush hour.
Oh,
and
no.
so we were stuck in so much traffic, and he was like not talking at all. in the car, and I was trying to make conversation, and he was like he was like kind of answering me, and I'm like, we're stuck in the car for like an hour together, and if this is how it's going in the car, what's gonna happen when we get there? And I guess I was like really trying to make him feel comfortable, or just like, I was like, this is not going well. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like continue like talking, like sounding like an idiot. And so we eventually get there, and we like go to this, like into this cafe, and this is probably like 6:00 at night, and then all he orders was coffee. And like, we're in a cafe, like, and like, if we were going somewhere close by, or like meeting somewhere, like fine, like let's just get coffee, and you know, I'm fine with a coffee date. But like, we just drove for an hour, and I mean, he didn't talk, so like maybe I didn't want to sit with him and eat with him, but we both just like got coffee. And I like learned a little bit about him, but he just seemed so uninterested. Like, he was barely talking. Like, it was like pulling teeth, and I was just like, what is going on? Like, and I don't even know how long we were there. Left, and he like drove me home, like another hour in the car, 45 minutes to an hour. And I like tried to be like happy and peppy, and like just, you know, try to like learn how. I'm like, this is definitely not going anywhere, but whatever. But like, still trying to, you know, talk to him. So like, we eventually get home, drops me off. I like go into my house, like tell my mom everything. And keep in mind, he lives about like a half hour away from me. Probably like 10 to 15 minutes after he dropped me off, he texted me like, hey, don't think we should do this again.
That's so rude.
And I'm like, are you even home yet? Like, what are you, like at a red light? Or like, just like, maybe he's texting and driving. I'm like, you can't even wait like the next morning to tell me? And I was just like, oh my God, like what a jerk. And I was just like, yeah, okay. Same. And I don't think I ever saw him again. Actually, I think I saw him on an app again, like not that long ago. But yeah, he like seemed so different in the library. This really like hot khayal who ended up being a total dud.
Oh my gosh. I feel like the really attractive ones are.
Yeah. I'm like, well, now I gotta change my type.
You need an average looking guy who like tries.
Yeah. I'm like, I always go for like the like khayal, like khayalim, like the good looking, and I'm like, you know, they just never work out.
I never go for the good looking guys. Honestly, you gotta also factor in the Jewish thing.
No offense to all the guys out there. It's also very subjective.
Yeah. No, so usually, like, even the average looking guys think they're all that, like these Jewish guys. So you gotta find the ugly ones. Like, borderline ugly. The borderline ugly ones will, like, probably treat you okay.
Yeah.
That's the sad reality of life.
It is really sad. No, like, I have friends that are married that are like, attraction grows. They're like, I wasn't attracted to my husband when we first met. And I'm like, what? Like, why are you telling me this? And like also, I want to be somewhat attracted to someone.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, like, I'm attracted to personality.
Yeah. But like, there needs to be some like physical attraction. Like, I know like on some dating sites, like with matchmakers, they make you feel so bad when you're like, looks matter to me. And I'm like, but they should.
Well, you shouldn't feel bad because all guys say that looks matter. And guys are disgusting. I'm sorry. Also, like, I don't know. I just think men are just, first of all, they're just dumb. And they're, like, blinded by looks. Like, okay, I'm going to give you a really quick example, and then we're going to get back to your stories. Like, this isn't even in the Jewish world. So, I'm an accountant. I work in a finance company.
Very Jewish of you.
very Jewish to me, but like I'm surrounded by like finance bros. Like I haven't
Don't date a finance
no,
bro.
no. I haven't seen any Jewish ones. But
I've had my experience with that. Don't do it.
I've gone out with a couple of finance bros, I think.
Don't go for the investment bankers.
No, they work millions of hours.
Yeah, no,
but,
you don't want to get texts at 4 a.m.
Yeah, no. But, so, I mean, it's my team and then a bunch of finance people. So there's this one girl. I don't know what she does in the company. I don't know if she works in finance or if she's literally a receptionist. I don't know. But she's probably between, like, the ages of 25 and, like, 28. I can't see her being more than 28 years old. Like, no like I'm 29. Like I just think she's very young. She's blonde, fake blonde, obviously. Wears lots of makeup.
Of course.
Always wears like really, really girly clothes, like really girly outfits.
She like Elle Woods.
Kind of, but like, and then she's like always in heels. Okay. Always. And my office has like it's not a cafeteria. It's like just our kitchen area. And the kitchen area has like tables in the back where you can sit. It's a big open space. So there's like an island where like the refrigerators, the drink fridge, the coffee machines, the water machines are. And then after that, there's just tables. Yeah. So like people on my team like don't eat lunch at their desk. We'll like go, we don't really all go at the same time, but like we just like everyone takes a lunch break.
Yeah.
And sits away from their desk, which is nice. Like I don't want to eat at my desk. On Fridays I do when I have to go in, but so it's just funny because almost every day when I'm at lunch, like I'm eating my lunch, I'm just chilling in the corner watching TikTok videos, eating my lunch. She's like, she comes into the little kitchen. I have never seen her by herself. She's always being followed by finance bros.
Oh my God.
They're always surrounding her, and she'll like sit at the little island in the kitchen and hold court. And like, I hear her talking. And, like, this girl is not interesting. What she has to say is not interesting. And these guys are, like, clinging to everybody. And some of them are, like, 50 years old. Like,
that's so crazy.
They're probably married, like, and they're just, like, listening to her and engaging in her stories. Like, she's the most interesting person in the world.
Yeah.
And she's literally talking about her, like, weekends partying. And I'm like, this girl isn't interesting. And that's why men are stupid.
They're just like, look, and if they like the way it looks,
they're just like gonna sit and flirt and like look stupid. Like they look stupid.
Yeah.
Like I sit there and I see them and I walk by and they look stupid.
No, when they like follow some girl around like a puppy dog just because she's hot, like,
and they're probably married. Like,
yeah,
like it's just stupid.
Yeah,
guys are stupid.
That is, moral of the story.
Listen, I'm sure she's great.
Yeah, she might be a lovely person.
She might be really smart. She might be one of the like the finance bros, and she just is like
just
extra
smart
girly.
and has no personality.
Yeah, I don't know. Like she seems like she seems like a sorority girl, but she seems like she's still in the sorority. Like, so it's just funny.
Well, that's what guys want. They want the sorority girls.
I know, and I just sit and look, and I'm like,
I'm never gonna be that.
But I don't want to be that.
No, me neither. Just like,
and like, if that's what guys want, then I don't want them.
Yeah, no, true.
I'll stay single.
Yeah.
Like, if a guy doesn't want me because of how I look,
well,
joke's on him. There's a lot of better reasons not to want to be with me. So. Yeah, like my personality.
Yeah.
Or the fact that I will trash him on this podcast.
Yeah.
No, only if he does something wrong.
Yeah, no, but I understand that.
Yeah.
No, there are a lot of stories I will not tell because I don't want to trash someone, but also they're too obvious.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay. It's your podcast, so you can do what you want.
Yeah, no, I trash everyone. It's like it's a caution for dating me, and I tell guys that, and they ask.
If you like go on a first date, you're like, by the way, this might end up on my podcast.
So I have the podcast, like people, they know about it. It's on like my dating app profiles. It's even on my like matchmaking profile.
That's
so
funny.
the guy I had a video call with, who was at the event where everyone was talking about my podcast. So I was just like running around being crazy, and then they were like, Rachel's podcast, Sticky Situations. Everyone listened to Sticky Situations, and then like. Yeah, so he's like, so on the video call, he's like, so what's your podcast about? And I'm like, I have guests on and we tell dating stories.
Right now.
Yeah. So, no, and guys will ask, they're like, are you going to talk about me? And I'm like, if you do something wrong, I will.
Yeah. got to sign something before you go out with me.
No, you don't even have to sign it. I don't need your consent. Yeah. I don't need your consent. I won't say your name. Yeah. But I will tell everyone what you did. Yeah. It's therapeutic.
Yeah.
We get to trash everyone.
Yeah, just tell them this is therapy for me. So
yeah.
let me do it.
Yeah. And it's fine. If you're embarrassed, don't do it.
Yeah.
Like if you're embarrassed,
clean up your act.
If you do something that a girl's going to tell a story about and you're going to be embarrassed by it, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't act that way.
Yeah.
Be better. But okay, I keep talking. I want to get back to you.
All right. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go with butterfly neck guy. That's what I wrote in my notes. This is butterfly neck guy. So this was also probably 2019. Still living at home at the time. Met a guy on a dating app. Seemed like I guess we were messaging back and forth, and he seemed like really fun. And he like asked me out, and we like planned a whole date, and we ended up going to like the Queen's Botanical Gardens, which I would not recommend anyone go to because they're like it's very boring. Also, I think it was like September or October, so it was like a little bit cold, and there was like none of the flowers were like in bloom or anything. So we meet up there, and I think like I was coming from Long Island, he was coming from like Brooklyn, so like both had to like travel a little bit. But we get there, and like at first I guess like everything seemed fine, and then I like noticed that he's like a little bit cuckoo. I think someone like let him out of the psych ward. Like this guy was, and there are I guess different levels of like ADHD, but this guy was like ADHD on steroids. These were like the Queen's Botanical Gardens are like not, like I said, not interesting. Maybe like in the springtime they're nice, but like there was nothing like pretty to look at. We were just like walking around, and we would be having a conversation, and then he'd stop and be like, oh my god, like look at that, or like I'd be telling him something and he'd cut me off because like he saw something like interesting, or like saw a leaf or like a rock, and I'm like, okay, like, and I'm like, you're not listening to me at all. And it was just like super like bizarre. I'm like, dude, you've got like a lot of issues. He was also like ex-yeshivish, which I've like learned not to go for. Yeah. And I'm like, listen, like it is fine if you don't want to be in that community anymore, like you want to be more modern, but like I guess with him, and that was the first time I experienced it, where I felt that he was trying so hard to prove to me that he was not yeshivish and that he was modern Orthodox and knew like things in the secular world. And I'm like, you don't have to prove yourself to me. And like I know what TV is. Like you don't have to like go overboard with it. But like it was like him just going overboard with that, and then like literally, I don't know, he was like jumping up and down, and like I'm like literally I like thought he was gonna like hurt himself at one point, because I'm like, you're just like flying everywhere, and like you're getting so like distracted about everything. And I'm like, someone needs to like come with a butterfly net and just like catch you and put you back in your cage. Like I don't know if are you a Friends person? Like have you watched the show?
I've seen most episodes.
Okay. Well, there's one episode where Phoebe is like going on a date with a guy, and like this guy is like played by Alec Baldwin, and he's like the most excited person. Like the most like mundane things make him excited. Like they were going to a party, and like they were driving, and he got excited by traffic, and like was like just like, oh my god, like it was just like so beautiful, and like all these things. And then they were at this party, and he got excited about the plates. And when I was on the date, I'm like, wow, like this guy is Alec Baldwin on Friends.
Oh
Like,
my
they
God.
are, like, the same person. And after the day, I was, like, sending the clip from that episode to, like, everyone that I knew. I'm like, this was my date right
Oh
now.
my God.
And I'm like, who let you out of the asylum?
Oh my God.
Then I saw him recently on, like, a dating app, and he looked, like, pretty interesting, you know? I think he was wearing a dress. And I'm like, I was like, this fits now. I get it. Like, based off of our interaction. And I'm like, okay, like, you do you, but I understand, like, a lot of what was happening on our date.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah. Like, there's just, like, a lot of nuts out there.
Yeah.
And at least he wasn't, like, a harmful nut.
Yeah. At least it was entertaining.
Yeah, no, it was definitely entertaining. Like, I've gone out with nuts that are, like,
Scary.
and I'm like, I don't want to be anywhere near you anymore. Yeah, but I hope he's thriving in his
In his dress.
dress.
Listen,
Yeah.
I hope he's thriving too.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. Like, live
Yeah.
your life, man.
Yeah.
Live your best
you
life.
wear that dress.
Yeah. I will say, though. Well, no, I think dresses are more comfortable.
Well, yeah, you know, they're a little
Unless you have
breezy.
to wear tights.
Yeah.
In the summer, they're more comfortable.
I do, like, I feel like before tight season, I get really excited about them, and then I'm not.
No, I hate tights.
Yeah.
I'm like a firm, like, I'm a hater. I hate
Tights
them.
hater.
I wear them because I have to, but
Yeah.
like, I'm a hater.
Yeah.
Some like girls
rough
like
life.
wait for black tight season, and I'm just
I
like,
do like it.
I'm like,
You're like, I'm waiting for it to end.
I'm waiting for it to end. I don't
Yeah.
want to wear tights anymore. I have like so many cute dresses that are ruined by tights, and I'm just like, I'll throw a little cardigan on it.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe we could go dress shopping with this guy. I don't know.
maybe does he have a good style?
It looked more like a costume type. But he seemed to enjoy it. But he might have good style.
Maybe we should see.
Yeah. So yeah, that is Butterfly Guy.
Butterfly guy.
Yeah.
Well, we hope you're thriving, butterfly guy.
Yeah. Go catch those butterflies.
Go catch the butterflies.
Spread your wings. Should I go for another one?
Yeah.
All right. What else do I have? Oh. Okay. So this was also another I feel like all of my good date stories, or like somewhat more entertaining ones, are like all pre-COVID. So this is also a pre-COVID date. Also, I think like 2019, late 2019. And matched with a guy on. Well, I had like gotten this guy on a dating website. Like, I thought like, oh, like he's decent looking. His profile seems like normal. Like, I'll accept. So we like make a date, and he like had recently moved to my neighborhood. Was like living with his grandmother or something. I can't remember where he was like from. Maybe he was from the city, or like, I don't know, Connecticut. I don't know. And so we like planned a date. It was like November time. Planned a date for like a Saturday night at a restaurant, like in the neighborhood. And usually I don't like going out like in my neighborhood, but I'm also like, I don't really know anyone anymore around, so I don't care. But like planned a date at this place. We were gonna meet there. So like I get there, I drove there. It's like probably like 5 minutes from my house, and like I was fine with going on a date like in the neighborhood, but like I didn't want to sit like necessarily like by the window, like facing the street where like people are going to be walking. Or like at least find a table in the back. I walk in, and he's obviously like sitting at a table right by the window, and
Great.
He sat in the seat with his back facing the window. So I am facing the street, and I'm like, okay, I really hope nobody that I know walks past. So like, fine. Like, I guess probably as soon as I got there, I'm like, yeah, no, this is not gonna this is not going to be a second date.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah. I think, like, looks-wise, I wasn't as attracted to him, but then also, like, personality. I'm like, this guy is weird. Like, he's just, like, strange. He, at one point, started telling me about, like, I don't know, like, meat made in, like, factories. Like, not, like, meat from animals. I don't know. There's this whole thing about, like, chemically made meat. So I'm like, he's, like, giving me a whole lesson about it. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then, like, at another point, we got into a fight. And it was the dumbest fight ever. We were, like, talking about, I guess I had been on, like, some Shabbaton in, like, with, like, my camp, like a reunion, like, in, like, some, like, neighborhood, and, I was like, oh, yeah, like, we went to, like, it was at this shul, and, like, it was such a nice shul, and, like, I was like, but I, like, also, like, heard there's a lot of controversy, like, around, like, the rabbi there, but he's not, like, really the rabbi of the shul anymore, and then, like, he was like, no, I've met him, and, like, he is the rabbi of the shul, and he got really insulted and mad at me for saying that this rabbi was not the rabbi of the shul, and I was like, oh, like, I mean, but I, like, heard blah, 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 and, like, you know, like, heard that he actually was, like, let go, and he was, like, getting angry that I was, like, saying this, and I'm like, why are we fighting about this thing? It's, like, so dumb. And I was like, you know, like, I don't know, maybe I don't know, like, you know, or, like, whatever, you know, maybe things have changed. I, like, made something stupid, so, like, we could, like, drop the topic. And I'm like, oh, this is just, like, continuing, like, the date, it was just, like, bad. Then, obviously, I am, like, looking outside, and I see some of, like, my campers. I was, like, a counselor in camp, and, like, saw some of them walk past, and I'm like, that's, like, the worst thing. I, like, would rather see my friends or, like, my parents' friends walk past, not, like, my teenage campers walk past. Like, I don't know, a group of, like, 4 of them, and they see me, I see them, and I'm like, oh my god. And I, like, smiled and waved with them, and because I, like, did not care about this guy at all, I'm like, 1 second, I'll be right back. I just see someone that I know, and, like, walked outside and, like, started talking to them. And I was like, oh my god, guys, I'm, like, on the worst date ever. And I mean, they thought it was hysterical. But I'm like, no, but actually, this is terrible. And I was gone for maybe, like, 5 minutes. I literally ditched this guy. And I'm like, what if I just left and, like, did not walk back in? And then I was like, that'd be too mean.
Yeah, sometimes I wish.
Yeah. But, so, I went back in, like, eventually, like, we finished up the date, and so this was, like, a Saturday night, and he ended up, like, he had walked to this restaurant, and he, like, told me where he lived, and it's probably, like, a 45-minute walk.
Why did he walk?
I have no idea.
Did you drive him home?
So we left, and I had parked, like, down the block, so we were, like, walking, and I, like, get to my car, and I'm like, okay, like, this is me, and then we stood there for a minute, and I was just, like, in my head, I'm like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, and I hear my mouth say, do you need a ride? I'm like, oh, that was dumb, like, why am I gonna give this guy a ride? And he was like, okay, and I'm like, I have to, like, spend another 5 to 7 minutes with this guy, and, like, I don't want to. And, like, I drop him off at his grandmother's house, and I'm like, okay, like, see ya, like, I don't even know how we ended.
See you never.
Maybe the next day, or, like, a few days later, the matchmaker who had set us up, like, she reached out, she was like, hey, like, you know, how did it go, like, would you want to, like, go out again? I was like, no. And she was, like, really trying to convince me to go out with him. And she was like, listen, like, you know, when I went out with my husband, like, for the first time, like, I didn't think it was gonna go anywhere. And, like, I didn't really like him. And I didn't like the way that he ate or, like, held his fork. And I'm like, okay, like, but I don't want to settle. Like,
yeah.
Like, just because you are acting like you did, like, don't make me. And, like, I don't know, it was, like, offended or like really pushy about me not, like, I didn't want to go out with him. She was like being so pushy, and I'm like, no, like, I'm just not going to. And so we didn't, and now he's married, so he found another weirdo.
Yeah,
Or
they all
maybe
find each other.
Maybe she's normal. I don't know.
All the weird ones find each
I
other.
don't know. I feel like it's the normal people that have the issues.
The normal girls.
Yeah, the normal girls, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why we're normal? Like, why can't we find someone?
I know. I think nobody exists.
I agree.
For myself. I'm sure you'll find someone.
Nah, maybe. We'll see.
I'm very negative these days.
Like, I'm gonna die alone.
I'm the wrong person to ask if you want, like, some, like...
Give me some dating advice.
Like, if you want some I can give tons of advice. But, like, if you want inspiration, I'm not your girl.
I need inspiration to keep going.
No, my inspiration is, like...
Don't do it.
Don't do it. I'm coming up with alternate life plans.
Yeah. No, just, like, go live on an island somewhere.
Yeah, I want to buy a condo on the beach.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
Also, I had a thought recently, and, like, this is how unhinged and, like, negative I am, but I'm just going to tell you guys anyways. I was sitting at my desk the other day, and, like, last week I was feeling super unhinged about everything. Like I said, I started off my week back-to-back video calls that I didn't want to do. I got some other things that I was annoyed with. I'll tell you guys maybe next episode. Like, it's just, like, I was just, like, getting increasingly more and more annoyed with dating.
Yeah.
And everything in life. And I'm like, you ever talk to, like, married people and they're just like, oh, yeah, I, like, don't have single friends.
I'm like, shut up.
Yeah, so I think I'm just going to be single and I'm not going to have any married friends.
Yeah. No, I hate, like, when, like, the married friends say, like, dumb things and you're like, one, you were single at some point, too.
Yeah.
And, like, don't act like you're better than me.
No, and then the worst is like, oh, I've been there. I know. Yeah. Like, no, you don't. You don't know.
You are married
You are married. You might have been single at 26. You might have been single at 27. But you are not 29 and single, living in this crap pile. Like, like, this is what I'm dealing with. Like, you don't know. You don't try to relate because you can't.
Or it's like, I met my husband on this app. Like, you should try it. I'm like, oh, really? Like, yeah, I haven't tried that before.
Oh, really? Yeah, like, oh, what a new idea.
Thanks so much.
Thanks so much for the advice.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sure, I'll go download J-Swipe again for the 43rd time.
No, it's not worth it.
Literally, someone was like, oh my god, did you try J-Swipe? And I'm like,
no, I've never heard
like,
of it.
I've never even heard of J-Swipe. Like,
wait,
oh my
how
god.
Do you spell that?
Like, oh, and then someone's like, are you on Hinge? And I'm like,
I am unhinged.
I'm like, I'm unhinged. I'm like, I'm on literally every single dating app you could think of, so don't suggest another dating app.
You know what? Weirdly, on TikTok, I get a lot of Christian dating app videos or Christian dating advice, and I'm like, what is this algorithm? And I'm like, maybe I should try those apps.
Yeah, Christian Mingle.
Yeah, I also saw
a nice little Christian boy.
I saw an ad on the subway for a Muslim dating app. It was called Salam, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was like,
I feel like I'm not saying this in like a racist or like prejudiced way. I just think I'd more likely go on the Christian one.
I hear that.
Both of them really don't like our people, so I probably would do neither. But like
their line was very good though. It was like, it's not halal if it's not mutual.
Oh,
I was like, I like that. You're gonna you make me want to go on your app.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
and I do like the like people, more Middle Eastern looking people. So
that's true. Like a tall, dark, and handsome.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Recently, I was talking to someone, and I'm like, I honestly just wish I could be a lesbian.
Yeah, I mean, like, girls aren't any better, but
it's true. But I feel like they're better than guys. I was having a discussion with like a few of my friends. They're like, do you know how many of us would be like married if like we were just into women? And I'm just like, yeah, too bad or not. But like,
yeah, no, it's true.
But it's whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're stuck with guys
or
being alone.
Yeah.
But okay, Liz, do you have any other stories that you want to share?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I probably do, but like, maybe that's for next time. Or
Yeah.
you know what? I'm going to continue going on dates and get
Yeah.
some more stories.
Yeah, then come back.
Yeah.
I tell my single guest, my married guests, I'm like, hopefully you will never come back. But like my single guests, I'm like, come back whenever you want. Like
Yeah.
one of my friends and I literally keep track of our stories. I'm like, so when you come on the podcast for round 2, like
Yeah.
you can tell that.
I also like, I've like thought, I was like, I'm going to remember every date that I've ever been on. I'm going to remember all the stories. But like, I'm noticing that there are a lot that I don't remember.
I keep a
So I
spreadsheet.
I need to write them down.
My spreadsheet isn't very good. I need to edit it a lot. Like there's definitely details that I'm missing that I'll probably
Yeah.
want to remember later in life.
Yeah.
Right now it's just like a list of names. I started adding like where I met them, how many
Yeah.
dates we went on. But I need to make like a really organized spreadsheet of it.
Yeah, no, I really should do that.
Maybe one day I'll release it.
Ooh.
When I'm feeling my most unhinged,
Yes.
I will release my little black spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the little black book?
Yeah.
It's my little black spreadsheet
Yeah, I love it.
when I'm really feeling unhinged. But that's going to be a long time from now.
You should do like a phone book and have all of your friends like
Put
all
theirs?
Yeah.
This is good. And we'll just
Yeah.
release it. There's like last names in there. There are
Ooh,
notes.
ooh.
There are notes. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff in there. The
I
guys
love the idea.
the guys I dated, like, would not want that released.
Yeah, I don't think any of them
Except for, like, maybe one or two. Like, literally, one of them is, like, the best guy I've ever met. Like,
yeah. No, the good ones, it's fine.
yeah, but there were, like, 2 good ones.
Yeah. No, they're rare.
They're very rare. The rest of them are just, like, the worst.
Average.
One of them literally says the worst on it.
No,
Or,
I've
like,
I've
jerk.
blocked numbers.
Jerk.
Yeah.
Nebby.
Stalker.
Dorky. Ew. I don't know. I need to go back through the list. But it's
love
great.
it. Oh, so funny.
Okay, so Liz, if you don't have any more stories, let's get to our like final thoughts, our conclusion.
right.
So, I know we've talked about advice throughout, as we always do,
Yes.
but can you give my listeners one piece of dating advice?
Wow, I have so much, but I guess one thing that I've been trying to, live by lately is trust your gut. Like, when you're with someone, whether it's right. Like, if something seems off, like, even if you can't place what it is, like, you just, like, but you, like, have this feeling, like, in your gut that it's just not there, or there's, like, something sketchy or whatever it is, like, just, like, trust that feeling. And, I mean, like, it is great to take advice from your friends or family, but, like, also, like, don't let them pressure you into something if, like, you yourself, like, know that it's not right and it's not there. Like, I've definitely, like, felt in my gut that something was wrong or off, and people are like, no, like, give it one more shot. I'm like, no, but, like, I'm the one that has spent time with this person. So, like, I know, and, like, I feel that something's not right. So just trust your gut, because you know yourself best.
It's good.
Yeah.
I need to trust my gut more, because
Yeah.
I do trust my gut, but then I go against it because I
Yeah.
feel guilty.
Yeah. You gotta get rid of the guilt and just do.
Like, all these boys I want to say no to.
Yeah.
I have one in my queue right now, and I'm like...
You're cute.
in my queue. One in my queue. I keep like extending the match time because I can't decide what I want to do. Because I'm like, I really don't want to say yes, but like I don't have a good reason to say no.
Yeah.
Aside from the fact that he's like, looks like he's 50,
That's a good reason.
and like he's in school.
Yeah.
And one of my friends told me he might be too religious for me.
So I feel like you have a bunch of good reasons.
I know, but she's like, oh, he's a really nice guy, like
Yeah.
whatever, and I don't know.
Yeah. Like,
They're all
but,
really
like,
nice
Yeah,
guys.
but like just because someone's nice doesn't mean they're for you.
That's true.
Like that's what also like another piece of advice.
But
Just because they're nice doesn't mean that like they are your person.
But I just want to say no to everyone. So then I'm
Yeah.
going to really die alone. Because I don't, like, all of these guys
Unless
I
you
want to
just
say
like
no to.
meet someone in person.
So right now my dating goal is that I'm waiting for someone to come find me.
That is the ultimate.
Like, okay, I'm not, like, being unrealistic about it, that, like, they're just going to knock on my door and sweep me off my feet, because that's kind of actually creepy. Like, how does he know where I live, and why did my doorman let him upstairs? But, like, I mean, like, guys have the means of finding me.
Yeah.
Whether it's liking me on an app, sliding into my DMs,
Yeah.
knowing me in person, having already, like, interacted with me and deciding that, like,
Yeah.
I'm their girl that they need to come back for. Like, you got my number.
Yeah.
I probably didn't block yours. Like,
Yeah.
literally,
If you haven't done anything wrong.
I really the only people whose numbers I block are scammers, and like the one time I like got threatened. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea to block that number.
Yeah. So like I don't know. I go to events. I have the podcast. I put myself out there enough that I think it's not so unrealistic to say I'm waiting for some guy to find me.
No. I agree.
So if you're that guy, come find me.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for you to find me.
Come find us.
Come find us.
Bring a friend.
Come find me and bring a friend.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Just, I don't know. That's my take right now just because I'm over it.
Yeah.
But I'm just waiting for someone to come find me.
Yeah.
But not in
they do.
not in an unrealistic way. I'm also like
Yeah.
not just like sitting at home and like watching TV.
Yeah. No,
I'm
you're
like
putting yourself
I'm out in
there.
the world. I'm
Yeah.
doing stuff. So like if he's meant to find me, he's going to.
Yeah.
But like I can't keep like weeding through all the bad ones.
Well, sadly, that's what we have to do.
I know. We're just not dating.
We're just not at all.
Maybe I'll have a year of not going on any dates
Yeah.
in person. I haven't been on an in-person date yet in 2023. I've been on a bunch of video dates.
Wow.
Tell me, but
Neither have I. I haven't been on an in-person date yet.
but I haven't
this
been on
year.
an in-person date yet this year.
Yeah.
We're recording
Still-
this at the beginning of February.
Yeah,
So
it is still very early.
like I don't know when I'm releasing this. Like if you're hearing this in like the end of March, like or like
We're not
in
that
December,
pathetic.
we're not that pathetic. It's the beginning of February, and like I started a new job, and most of my January was really busy at work, so I didn't have
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So
Don't judge us.
don't judge us. I've had lots of video calls with boys I don't want to date.
Yeah.
So
Take that.
yeah. And Liz, our final thing.
Yes.
What is your Real Housewife tagline?
Okay. I did a lot of research into this. And I came up with a bunch. And I think my favorite one that I came up with, that I debated whether I should do or not, but I'm just going to go for it, is I already have IBS, so I don't have time to deal with your crap.
I like it.
So
It's
there
good.
you go. Thank
It's good.
you.
Ashkenazi Jewish women and their stomachs.
Yeah.
We don't want to deal with your crap, boys.
Yeah. And you know what they say? All the pretty girls have stomach problems.
It's true. It's true.
So come find us.
Yeah, so come find us.
We're waiting.
Just if you take us out to dinner, maybe like not dairy.
Not dairy. Yeah. No. Just some nice sushi.
Yeah, or like, I don't know, I like meat.
Meat's good too.
It'll probably hurt my stomach. But, like, it's fine. It's worth it.
But that means that we're beautiful.
Yeah, it means we're beautiful. The
Yeah.
more your stomach hurts
Yeah.
after you eat, the prettier you are.
Yeah. It's like a scale.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
That's
thank
good.
You. Thank you very much.
Well, Liz, this has been so fun.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Excited to go on more dates so I can come back.
Yeah, of course. I'm always here. And that's just another plug if you want to come be a guest on my podcast.
Yeah.
Come tell your date stories. Like, you don't have to trash men. And men, you can also come on and talk about girls. Like, I love having male guests.
Sometimes we suck too.
Yeah, women suck also. I'm sure I'm someone's... I'm sure that I'm the story in a lot of situations.
God.
Like, I'm crazy.
I never thought of that.
I'm definitely the story. I do crazy stuff, and, like, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
So, guys, come and tell it. It's really therapeutic. You just get to air out your stories,
Yeah.
air out your frustrations, and, like, have fun. We sit and chill.
Yeah.
Usually I mix a drink, but I forgot to.
That's okay.
But, yeah. So, Liz, thanks again for coming.
Thanks.
And Sticky Situation Nation, you'll catch me next time. So, bye, everybody.